Hello YouTube and fellow DDR members. Welcome to the second episode of our weekly Wednesday workshop. My name is Mr. M&M and today I'm going to talk you through some more advanced concepts in the game of Magic, as well as giving you a guide to some of the reoccurring keywords that you'll encounter on cards. First up, we have some concepts that expand upon what Mr. Fishy talked about in last week's episode. Multi-blocking. A creature can't block more than one creature, though multiple creatures can block the same attacker, though this is only necessary if the attacking creature is too big for one of yours to destroy. Bear in mind that the attacking player decides how to assign damage to the blocking creatures. For example, your opponent attacks with a 6/6, which you block with a 3/7 and a 3/3. Your opponent can decide which creature takes damage first. If the 3/3 is selected first, your opponent assigns a minimum of 3 damage, while the 3/7 takes the remaining damage. Alternatively, your opponent could order the blockers the other way around, but neither blocking creature would die. Secondly, card wording is very specific. If you read a card closely and understand the precise meaning of each word, it becomes very easy to understand what the card will do when you cast it. Finally, life loss or damage. Life loss is a negative change in life totals. Similarly, life gain is a positive change. Damage causes life loss and occurs mostly from spells and creature combat. If a spell says that it deals damage, it can affect creatures, while a spell that says it causes loss of life can only affect a player. This is because creatures don't have a life total. Now, on to keywords. The keywords we're discussing today are known as evergreen. That means that you will encounter these keywords regularly, and in any expansion set of Magic the Gathering. Some keywords are specific to the set that they are created for, and are unlikely to be seen outside of that set's environment. We will discuss some of these in the future, but for now, evergreen. Flying. Creatures with flying can only be blocked by other creatures with flying or reach. Reach allows creatures to block as though they had flying. Trample. If a creature with trample would assign enough damage to its blockers to destroy them, you may have it assign the rest of its damage to the defending player. For example, a 7/7 blocked by a 3/3 would deal 3 damage to the creature and 4 damage to the defending player. Haste. Creatures with haste can attack or tap immediately after being played. They are not affected by summoning sickness. First Strike. Creatures with First Strike deal combat damage before creatures without First Strike. Double Strike. Creatures with Double Strike deal both First Strike and regular combat damage. Vigilance. Attacking doesn't cause a creature with vigilance to tap. Lifelink. You gain life equal to the damage dealt by a creature with lifelink. It is based on damage dealt, so even if enemy life totals can't change, you can still gain the life. Intimidate. Creatures with Intimidate can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and/or creatures that share a color with it. There was an earlier version of Intimidate known as Fear. Fear was essentially black Intimidate, as creatures with Fear could not be blocked except by artifact creatures or black creatures. Indestructible. Things that destroy can't affect cards with this keyword, including lethal damage. Hexproof. A creature with hexproof cannot be targeted by spells or effects controlled by an opponent. The predecessor to hexproof was known as Shroud, and that didn't allow you to target your own permanents either. Death Touch. Any damage dealt to a creature by a creature with Death Touch is enough to destroy it. For example, a 1/3 with Death Touch can kill a 2/2. Defender. Creatures with Defender cannot attack. Flash. A permanent with Flash can be played as though it were an instant. Landwalk. A creature with Landwalk is unblockable if the defending player controls a land of the appropriate type. The types of Landwalk are known as Planeswalk, Island Walk, Swamp Walk, Mountain Walk, Forest Walk, Basic Landwalk, and Non-Basic Landwalk. Regenerate. Regenerate has a cost, which, if you pay it, removes all damage, removes destruction, and taps the creature, as well as removing it from combat. Protection. A creature with protection can't be dealt damage, can't be equipped to or enchanted, can't be blocked, and generally can't be targeted by things that it has protection from. For example, protection from white means it cannot be equipped by white equipment, cannot be enchanted by any white enchantments, cannot be dealt damage by any white creatures, and cannot be blocked by white creatures either if it is attacking. The thing to look for is the word target. If anything has the word target, it cannot affect the creature with protection. Equip. Equip occurs on artifact equipments. Paying the equip cost allows you to attach equipment to a targeted creature at sorcery speed. Enchant. Enchantments with the subtype Aura will say Enchant X, where X is another permanent type, for example, creature, artifact, or land. When you cast the enchantment, you choose an eligible target to be enchanted. That finishes the keywords for today. So to finish today's episode, we're going to talk about some advanced concepts regarding to how you approach the game. These are ideas rather than actual mechanics of the game, but they will have a very large impact on how you play. Card advantage. This is a very concise description of card advantage. Simply put, it's how many cards you gain or lose versus how many your opponents gain or lose. There are a lot of things that contribute to card advantage, but it will take a very long time to cover everything. There are a few simple examples of how you can positively affect card advantage. If your opponent has enchanted one of their creatures, and you have a spell such as Doomblade, if you use Doomblade to destroy that creature, both their creature and the enchantment go to the graveyard. You have positively affected your card advantage by 1, as you have spent 1 card to get rid of 2 of your opponent's cards. Next, we have preparation. To prepare for your games, you should try to know a couple of things. Firstly, how your deck works. What does it need to do to win? Secondly, how your opponent's deck works. How do you need to stop it from winning? Obviously, you won't always know both of these. Try to make sure you at least know your deck. If you aren't trying to work towards your deck's winning image, the state in which it should be able to win, you're making it harder for yourself to win the game. If you know how your opponent's deck works, it is much easier to turn a game in your favor. If your opponent relies on a particular creature to win, save a removal spell for it. If your opponent wants to mill your deck, include a card that shuffles your graveyard back into your library. There will be an answer to any strategy that an opponent tries to use. If you prepare well, you'll be able to answer your opponent's threats while still progressing towards your deck's winning image. Finding a balance between answers and cards that help you win will be discussed next week as we discuss deck building. Finally, confidence. Confidence comes with time and knowledge. As mentioned earlier, knowing how your deck works is a big step towards confident play. Ultimately, the more you play, the more confident you'll be. So, play. Play, play, and play again. Make changes to your deck based on your experiences, then go and play some more. There is no better learning tool than experience, other than these videos of course, so make sure you're playing a lot, as well as tuning in each week. Finding a community to play with will help immeasurably. Playing with a diverse group of people will allow you to encounter various decks and playstyles. If you're a Deakin student, keep an eye out for us at Einstein's during the week. There are always people there playing games, so don't hesitate to come along and ask us for a game. That's all for today, so thank you for listening. If there's anything you feel that I've missed, please let me know in the comments below. Next week we'll have Mr. Shadow speaking to you about deck building, so make sure you tune in. Bye-zy, bye-zy!